What's up, party people? This is Neena Perez, and this is Straight Talk, no sugar added. Thank you so much for being here. You know, this show is created to discuss life topics, to grow, challenge, and transform your thinking. And I love going around and finding people who are doing different things to bring them on here to give you things to think about. And today I found Tim Branyan, and I hope I said that right. He is the co-founder of True Fanz, and he transformed his life as a teenager who lacked direction. He joined the U.S. Air Force, and he became a man with unwavering discipline, strong principles, and core values, things that I really, truly admire. And so I wanted him to come on here to talk to us about what the transition is, what that journey is, and what is True Fanz. Okay, we got to get into that. So Tim, welcome. How are you?
I'm doing awesome, Neena. Thank you for the introduction, and thank you for that little music. That little music kind of got me hyped.
Right?
It's pretty dope.
Yeah, my son is a music engineer, so he makes music, and he made that song for me, and I'm like, oh, I love it. I love the song.
That was cool. I was digging the graphics, and then the little, it was nice. Kudos to him. Good work.
Thanks. So Tim, you know, I really I love my audience. I love who they are. They're good people, and they're always giving me feedback on everybody and what they hear. And I love bringing people on here that have something different that they do, you know. So I know that you were in the Air Force before. And what I want to get into all of all the little nitty-gritties of what I talked about. So before we do that, Tim, who is Tim? I love asking that little question. Who are you?
Yeah, I'm a guy that was, in short, aggressively curious and not afraid to adapt and overcome even before I got into the military. And that's really how it all started.
Awesome.
I grew up in the Midwest in Kokomo, Indiana. I wasn't going anywhere really quick. I was a direct reflection of who I was spending time around, and they were in the same camp. They didn't really know exactly where they were going. They were just kind of waffling and being a reflection of one another. And for me, I became really restless and discontent. I always knew that I could do something. I didn't lack the belief. It was just a matter of taking the chance. So I made the choice to join the United States Air Force. Very primitive. I looked around and was like, okay, I think love it or hate it, I can do this for 4 years and at least build up a big, a nice resume where I could be hired. I wasn't really thinking entrepreneurial, and it changed my life. I got to travel all around the world. I met some of my greatest friends even to this day. I was held to a different standard than I was before. I learned discipline and learned, just how to carry myself, kind of sharpen these characteristics of what I would call characteristics of success. And that ultimately, that led to more restlessness and discontent. I was in the military for about 4 years, and then I started to see where I was going, where that was going to lead. Right. And I ultimately decided, okay, this isn't for me long term. I'm going to go to school. Got burnt out in school. Felt like I was cattle, to be honest. I was in this place, and it didn't work out. Anyway, so I jumped at the chance to work overseas. I did that for a short stint, made ridiculous money at a young age. Didn't have any bills or anything like that. But I got to a point where I was like, okay, I'm not really happy here. What's important to me? What is wealth? What matters? Right? I'm missing out on home. I was lonely. I didn't have a woman in my life at all. It was just me and a bunch of dudes out in the desert, doing work. And, I started to become curious on how can I make half of this money but own my time. So I racked through everything in my brain as far as companies and franchising and all these different methods that I could create an income with. And technology made a lot of sense. And I've been in it ever since. And I could tell you the ups and downs. I didn't quit. I probably should have and could have at least 4 times that I can think of. And I've done well in that industry now. We've generated millions of dollars.
Awesome.
We've acquired millions of different users around the planet over that time, and I've had some major losses too. I've had some serious failures. So I feel like at this point now, I've never built a personal brand. So we were talking about this earlier. I want to get on and just give it all away. So if there's questions, and that's what I'm doing now. I'm kind of getting out of my own way and getting in front of the camera and.
Yeah, that's good, right?
Things go.
Yeah. And that's the good thing, because you know what, and I'm sure you already know this, but Tim, people buy you before they buy whatever you're selling.
Yep.
right? I mean, they have to really be convinced about who you are as a person. So I want to go back a little bit because you said when you got into the military, you saw where you were going and said, this is not for me. So where was it that you saw where you were going?
Well, in the military, you're given a rank, and it's typically, similar to the traditional civilian world. Your time and grade, right, it equates
Mhm.
to your pay. So I saw that after X amount of time, if I continued to do it, do what was told of me and requested of me, I would end up probably around this area, in this rank. And for
Mhm.
me, I looked at some of those people, and in my shop, if you will, they weren't really fulfilled, and they hadn't really, I don't know, grown much, in my opinion.
Mhm.
And this is, I'm
Mhm.
generalizing, but for me, I saw that, and I wasn't content with that being me. I wanted to do something different. So I
Right.
saw kind of the writing in the sand, and decided, what I can do something different here. I can set myself up a different way. I can make a different choice.
Mhm. Mhm.
I decided to just take a different direction, and that's, initially it was school,
Right.
um, and that ended up not being the best choice for me. But it was a change of scene.
What were you
So
going to school for?
just general studies. So I
Okay.
went I
Yeah.
went to a small community college, and what I discovered was that, at least from my discovery, when I went there, it's like no one really knew what they were doing. It was just the next chapter,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
were there. Maybe they just graduated, or they believed that if by going this route they could make more money. I don't know. It was
Right.
strange. I didn't last too long. I lasted about a semester and a half. I did really well, but
Mhm.
all the while I was planning my escape. I was like,
Yeah.
how can I go out and make money, and
Right.
and continue to build my resume, continue on this trajectory towards, ultimately what I didn't know I was seeking was freedom. I really
Mhm.
admired, like, freedom,
Good. Yeah.
and the ability to say no, and the ability to
Yeah.
kind of control my own, if I wanted to control whether I have facial hair or not, or what I wear, and
Right.
just a little bit more control over my day-to-day life and how I spend my time. So
So
that's all.
it sounds like you might have gotten like both things from the military, right? Maybe some of that, discipline and wanting more and wanting to move forward and knowing you can do more things, but also not having somebody control every move,
Right.
right? So it
Yeah.
sounds to me like you learned both things from the military. Am I fair on saying that?
Yeah, I became a really great employee, I think, like in the military,
Mhm.
where I
That's
otherwise
good.
wouldn't. I got really
Mhm.
good at understanding my role, and a terminology that I use is just shutting up and coloring. There's a time
Yeah.
in life sometimes where you just need to shut up and color,
Mhm.
and do
Mhm.
do your task and know your position inside the mission. And I got really good at that. And then it was in uh, the exploration of freedom that I got really good at calling the shots and creating systems and processes that could get us to where we needed to go. And I discovered the reality that anybody, including myself, could create a service that solves problems, or create a product that solves problems, and then your new mission becomes your customer. So
Right.
getting them is the first tactical thought process. How do I get people, obviously, that align with the product or service that you're selling? How do I get people? And then number two, how do I make them really, 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 really happy? So
Right.
they become advocates of what I
Yeah.
have, and what's going on. So that, those two thought processes derived through the pursuit of, like, how do I obtain freedom
Mhm.
for, the things that I wanted. Everybody's got a different mindset on what their freedom number is, and what they would be doing with their time if money was no longer a thing.
Right.
I just became
Right.
obsessed and curious with that topic.
Did you ever have like besides the military though, did you ever have like a job where you were an employee? Because it sounds to me like you really have a heart of an entrepreneur, right? Like somebody who desires that freedom and desires to do their own thing, but also create. So did you ever have another
Yeah.
employment or
Oh yeah. So there was a time. So I've had two civilian style jobs. They were both in connection to the Department of Defense still, but as a civilian. So when I went and worked overseas as a contractor, I was with a company called Constellus Group. That was I was a civilian in support of the Department of Defense. So I was doing a similar role to what I was doing in the military. However, I
okay.
was a civilian, so very similar. And then, that I was doing well, and that was the first start to my tech venture.
Mhm.
And I just so happened to do really well with the first platform that we built. I think we got it to like $90,000 a month,
No, that's
global
awesome.
user base. We
Yeah.
hit a home run, and it was awesome. But it was working. Where else did I work? So I worked also as a civilian not too long, actually, I worked for 2 years at Grissom Air Force Base.
Okay.
And I don't want to go into too much depth about like what I did there. I
Yeah,
don't know
that's
if like
fine.
what's
I was just
classified and that's
wondering.
that
Yeah, yeah,
stuff.
yeah. No,
But
no, no. Don't want you to do that. Don't want you
right,
to do that.
so I do have a lot of experience with working my job and minding my freedom. So I worked in a position where it was like, okay, here's how much time I have, here's how much I'm willing to give, and here's what this could do for myself and my family. But ultimately, I've always been working on like an additional sustenance when it comes
Okay.
to additional incomes and such.
Okay.
So
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious about that because I'm like, did you just, I thought you maybe just jumped right into entrepreneurship, but you did tell me that you worked overseas and that you were
yeah,
feeling lonely there and stuff, and that's when you came back. So you said family, so I'm assuming when you came back, you found the love of your life. Is that what
yeah,
happened?
yeah. Accidentally, I actually found. So my wife's name's Marla, and we now have two kids, Finley and Caden. They
I
are
love those names.
ages 1.5 and almost 4. So our house is pretty
Fun.
busy. A lot of activities
Yeah,
and adventures going on, and yeah, that's wealth. So
it is.
it's
It
been
is.
awesome, and I have time now that we can go and do things. Maybe it's Monday today or Tuesday, Wednesday. We can I can go over for lunch, and it's awesome. It's worth it.
Yeah.
As much as this
Yeah.
crazy entrepreneurial world will bring you up and down on the roller coaster, it's worth it in the long run if
Nah.
you're crazy enough to stick and stay.
Listen, you got to be crazy enough, or otherwise, this is not for you, right? And
Hmm.
it's this thing about trading your time for hours. It's so different when you have the mindset of becoming that CEO or becoming that person who leads a team and stuff like that. So I want to talk to you about that because I know that you are the co-founder of True Fans, but
Yep.
I do want to know what True Fans is. I honestly don't know what it is.
Yeah.
So I'd like you to break that down for us. Go right
Definitely.
ahead.
So TrueFans is one of several platforms that I own, and it started with just seeing what was wrong in the market. So we saw that content creators, were being historically underpaid and undervalued on traditional social media.
Mhm.
Your data is being sold. You're not really getting paid. You're limited on your algorithm and your reach. So if you're trying to build a
True.
community or trying to build, your network, good luck on getting your message across. Most people aren't going to see it. I think it's like 3% see it. Yeah. So, and just to name a few, I mean, right now, people's information is being, you're being deplatformed, or if you have a difference in opinion, the
Yeah.
dialogue, you can
Yeah.
be canceled, and that
Mhm.
information can be removed forever, which is kind of
Mhm.
strange. So anyway, it was all these things that we thought, okay, we can change this. We can create a platform where, content creators get paid to post. There's no limiting algorithms. There's no limiting reach on that person's community. They can manage their community and send out their information. Everybody will get notified, and then additionally, we'll give them a bunch of different ways that they can monetize through tips, gifts, pledges,
Oh, nice.
donations,
Okay.
etc. There's a multitude of different ways to get paid, and the best way to describe who we are and who we aren't is to describe that we're very similar to our competitors like Patreon or OnlyFans. A lot of people are familiar with those folks.
Okay. Yep.
And the biggest difference is the fact that we're 100% only for content creators. So not just everybody can gain access. Instead of being like Walmart, or more like a country club.
Okay.
Uh, we pay more. We pay faster. We actually just launched instant payments. So as soon as you have active funds in your account, you can take an instant withdrawal directly to the debit card of your choice. Within seconds, have your money. And then the biggest thing is, outside of having additional features and functionality, we don't allow adult content. So we are a wholesome
Oh,
alternative.
good.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
that's
a
awesome.
wholesome alternative for folks that would love to have like a fan site, but don't want to be associated to the adult industry. So they would apply to gain access with us, and then they go through a vetting process, and then we give them a platform. And typically we jump on, either myself, someone from the team
That's
will
awesome.
get on and help them understand how to best maximize the platform for their
Mhm.
goals and who they
Mhm.
are and what they create or do. So
That's really
yeah,
great. Yeah. I mean, you're standing up for a lot of great things here, right? Because you can open it up to the adult industry or whatever and then make a lot of money. But then what does that say about you? What does that say
Mm-hmm.
about you, right? So I love that, because when I was introducing you, I talked about that, how you have like these strong principles and these core values that you have, and that sounds like what this is about as well, like still keeping true to your core values and your strong principles, but yet still launching something that can be beneficial to a lot of people, right?
Right. Yeah, we wanted to stamp our flag and be the logical choice alternative to those platforms, and we've done really well. We have 200 and some odd thousand users across the planet now.
Right.
We're in like 41 different countries. We're processing in like 122 different currencies. We've only been around for a little over 2 years now, like public.
Mm-hmm.
And just who we're meeting has been awesome. Just meeting the people and helping them flip the switch from creator to entrepreneur. Like we're producing hybrids, really, is what I like to call them. Like people come to us, normally they don't understand like how to monetize or really their power of influence and attention, and we really help them go from their initial goals to a lot of cases, once we help them hit certain milestones they maybe didn't think they could, then we help them go to the next levels. So whether it's PR or setting up their taxes or infrastructure there, we're turning them into business people.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing though, because I think a lot of us who are, I'm a director of culinary operations somewhere, so I have my full-time thing, but I realize that when you have this, like when you want to become the podcaster or the creator or the YouTuber or whatever that is, you're right. That there is a big gap there, right? It's like less than, what is it, 2% or something like that of people that actually monetize their podcasts and stuff. Like, there's a lot of things that, people miss. So that's really great that you're filling in that gap. And I have heard of Patreon, although I never been on it. So at least thank you for explaining it that way, because now I get it. I get it now. I was at first, I'm like, I don't know what True Fans is, but this is a great way to explain it. So you did say that there ebbs and lows, right? So what was like one of the hardest parts you've learned with like going through, your entrepreneurship, and I don't know if it was with True Fans, because you said you own a couple of different things that you do. So so what were some of your challenges?
There's been so many like now. One of the first recommendations I can give is fail enthusiastically. Expect to learn in failure and just realize that you're not alone.
Yeah.
When you're going through things that are tough, someone else probably has as well. You're not alone. And there's probably a book on it, or there's a YouTube video, or there's a podcast. You can link up with Neena. She's going to help you out through it. No, so that's the first recommendation before I even get into what happened or didn't happen in my story. Fail enthusiastically. So one of my failures was firing. It took me a long time to get rid of the right person. Let's put it that way. So I'm a guy that really cares. I don't know if I can curse on here, but I deeply care.
You can.
I deeply give a shit. There you go. And I really do. So I hired a team this was in my process really of trying to find a great software development team, which took years. And I brought people on, and I expected and wanted things, and it took a whole year for nothing to come to fruition. I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars and ultimately had nothing to show for it. And I took way too long to get rid of the right person. And I think my advice there is to set expectations early and allow your people to fire themselves. So if you've got somebody inside your organization, or if you're bringing people on, I'm hearing a little feedback in my head. That's why I'm getting
are you?
Yeah, I think I can hear it on your speaker.
Hold on.
No, I think I'm good now.
Okay.
It was I could hear myself. It was throwing me off. But when you're hiring somebody, set the expectations up front early, and you tell them, hey, I'm excited about this. You're the person that I'm going to pick. Let's date for 90 days. Let's circle back. Here's the things that I'm looking for. Here's the things that I want. Everything seems great right now, but I want to make sure this is a good fit for you. I want to make sure this is a good fit for me. And more importantly, make sure this is a good fit for us. Here's where we're going as a company. Here's what we want to achieve. Here's what we're about. Here's our people that we're serving. And if that doesn't align after 90 days, we need to have a crucial conversation and a discussion. And then let them know that through that 90-day period, the only time that they will be let go is by themselves. You've already given them clear expectations. And in the event they're not doing that, then it's just simply you bringing it up. Hey, you're not meeting these areas. Is there something going on? Can I help you? Can I serve you? I need you to be doing this. If you're not, then you're gonna part ways from us. And
Yeah.
it's just business. It's all love, but that helps you. If you're a feeler like me and you care
Yeah.
and you hate to let people go, because you want them to be a certain way, that will set the expectations both for you and that person. And you don't have to wait an entire year of time or spend a lot of money
Yeah.
to learn that harder lesson from me. Unless you do, then learn it enthusiastically. But
Yeah.
that's something that I went through, that I've since changed and edited based on that. I would call it a failure for sure, but
Oh, I
it
love
helped
failure.
me adapt,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
learn that lesson. And now it's quick. It's just business. Hey man,
Yeah.
here's the expectations. Here's the upfront thing. Hey,
Yeah.
you're not hitting these, brother. You got to go, man.
Yeah.
You got to
Well,
go. I got other
yeah.
people.
Yeah, but the truth is you are also setting them up to succeed too,
Right.
because if you're giving the expectation, they have something to look forward to, and if there's somebody who needs that, like that system, right? It really does help. It helps your team. It helps you. It helps everybody be on the same page, and it also helps you, Tim, to really be the CEO you're supposed to be. It helps you step up. Right. Because
Definitely.
it's one thing about being, and I get that because I've had a couple of businesses myself, and it is a challenge. It's a challenge. And then you feel bad, when you got to let that person go, you feel bad,
Definitely.
but you're right. I love that you said that. And something that I do as well, I always say, I never fire you. You fire yourself.
Yeah.
And my team knows that. So as soon as I'm saying, well, this was nice, and they're like, I know I fired myself.
Yeah.
You kind of did,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I get that. And that's a good lesson, Tim, and a good lesson to learn and a good lesson to share with people, because a lot of people are now getting into the entrepreneurship world. Right. And so we're getting handed a lot of garbage, if you will. Right. And so there's a lot of people who are setting themselves up for and not being able to deliver what they've set themselves up to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I think I said that nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, definitely.
so
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
that
And
has
then
been
looking
a
for
challenge.
characteristics, like when you're
Mhm.
hiring somebody, what I do, it's great. You can look at certifications, you can look at somebody's experience. When I'm talking to somebody, I'm looking for energy. I'm looking for charisma. I'm looking for somebody that can solve problems and fix things. And what I found is people that have played like athletic sports, or people that have been in some sort of industry that they've operated at a high level inside of a team.
Mhm.
Those are your people that will go above and beyond for themselves and for the company.
Yeah.
And those people are great team members.
Yeah.
So I've worked well with professional athletes. I've worked well with people that that have operated their own business before. They almost become entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
They're inside as an entrepreneur.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is they understand both sides of the game. So they understand both being an employee, their position in the mission. They understand owning one and operating one. So that's a
Yeah.
really unique person that that normally is a great fit.
Do you think you're going to always remain an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I'm never gonna retire. I'm in a really good place now, like financially, time wise. It's just things have changed for me
Yeah.
as far as what my definition of wealth is now, and what my objectives are.
Mhm.
So, I'm this is another thing. Just realistically, I've had to work through giving myself permission to make large amounts of money because of apprehensions of success. That's
Mhm.
very, very true. I'm
That's real. That's
being
real.
very, very transparent.
Yeah.
So I grew up lower middle class. So
Mhm.
my relationship with money has had to be programmed.
Mhm.
I've had to look at how I look at income and wealth and money and people that have money. And for me, if you would ask me 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, um, about making $20,000 a month or $30,000 a month, I would have been, whoa, that's a
Yeah.
lot. Whoa,
Yeah.
I can't do now. I've
And
had to
you would
work
have been
on.
right. You would have been right.
Right. Absolutely. Because I hadn't gone to the
Yeah.
mind gym.
Yeah.
Tim Brand, my self-worth and self-value was being sabotaged by my self-worth and
Yeah.
self-value.
Yeah.
so,
Yeah. So
so
true.
it wasn't until I started working on my belief and what I thought about myself and unpacking my different fears and various nuances around that I started to prosper even further. But now I'm at that's I feel like that's a constant thing, constant game. So now I'm focusing on what the next milestone is going to be, and I feel at this point now it's my responsibility. As crazy as that might sound, it's the response to my ability to give back and to serve and to use money as a tool for my community and in our economy. And I'm a Christian dude, so like I have this idea of having a separate bank account that becomes this philanthropic purse, if you will. And then when I see opportunities, it'll be used for good.
Yeah, same
That's
here.
the hope.
I get
so
that.
It's like it's like that. Then focusing on those things gives me permission to make even more money, because now it's being used. Whereas before I didn't have like an idea on how what's the point.
Yeah.
And I think realistically, it's tactical to think about the pains or the different obstacles that can come with creating large amounts of money. I've seen really miserable people that are super wealthy.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I've seen, I've got people that I know that don't have all pillars of wealth. I don't feel like yet. So like as I'm climbing the ranks, I want to make sure that I'm having fun. I want to make sure that I'm being fulfilled. I want to make sure that there's purpose and there's, we're doing good things. And I specifically am using it as service and ministry. I'm walking in my responsibility.
That's awesome.
Which is important. So, that's my head on it. I don't want to lose myself and gain the world.
No, that's really great. I mean, and and do you believe in also having a coach yourself or somebody around you yourself that's maybe has already been at that higher pillar? Because I think anyway, I surround myself with a lot of people that push me, mentor me, or coach me to a higher level. Because what I realize is the same as you, Tim, I struggled with that too. Like, oh, I'm never going to make six figures, and what a six figure looks like, that type of thing. And that kept me down. Right. And it wasn't until I unlocked that I was able to hit the six figures. And now I want to move on to the 7, the 8, whatever. Right. So do you believe that also? Like, do you believe you surround yourself with people that raise you up?
Yep. Not just people. Like, you can surround yourself with people through information, through books. You can surround yourself with people through information, through audio suggestion. Surround yourself with people by every means possible, in my opinion. So I do have a coach. Her name's Patty Pavey. She's a neuro-linguistic programming coach that's helped me kind of unpack things in a more, when I say neuro-linguistic, if I say hypnosis, people get all weirded out. They get a little
I'm an NLP master practitioner. I get it.
Okay, perfect. So most people would like, they kind of freak out, or they're a little nervous.
Yeah.
But for me, I had to kind of discover that first I had to build trust. It took her probably a year and a half to even to get me to come around. I'm real, careful, casual. But anyway, so I have a coach that's helping me find the scary monster and destroy it and attack it, and unpack me and look at things differently. And then I am I seek people that are at higher highs than me to build relationships with, like authentic relationships. And how I do that is, and this is just natural, when I meet people. I just met a guy, I'll just throw it out there. His name's Steve Harward. He owns Prime Corporate Services, and it's an amazing company. We partnered inside. They do all our tax prep, tax filing, entity setup.
Oh, I know Prime.
Do you? Okay, dude. Steve is awesome. He's the founder. We built an incredible friendship, literally within seconds of like connecting with each other. And so, when I meet people like that, instantly I start trying to figure out, how can I serve Steve? How can I help Steve? Here's a guy that makes, I don't even know what Steve makes, a lot of money. He's got a jet. He's got a huge, beautiful office. He's blessed beyond measure. And it's like, how do I help Steve? What can I do that he, to help him? And I think that's been advantageous, like an authentic, connection. There's a lot of people at that higher level. If you're looking to connect with with people that can help you grow and progress, these people sometimes I think are under attack. They don't have a lot of like real relationships where people
Yeah.
have their beds. Like people are trying to climb on them.
Yeah.
It's like if you can show them that, if you can really genuinely find a way to serve them, I think it's mutually profitable.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think I'm trying to explain how I've been able to make friends in that world,
Yeah.
but I put myself in positions to be around people like that.
Well, if you're authentic too, they need authenticity, right? A lot
Yeah.
of people, I mean, they're people like us. They just happen to do something a little bit different that made them wealthy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm around billionaires a lot, right? So it's like, and I realize that they're just human beings. Like, they'll sit down and have a cup of coffee, we'll chit chat over a croissant or whatever. And it's like, it's normal stuff,
Yeah.
right? Like my dog had to go to the vet. Like it's normal stuff. And, I'm glad that you did the work, right? To unlock what you were thinking and unlock those barriers. And I'm glad I did the work too, because it helps you to become more human and
Sure.
it actually helps you to be more authentic. So now when you go and hang out with Steve, it's really because you want to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not because he's going to give you the next jet. You know what I mean? Like I think, and people know, Tim, especially people who have already reached these pinnacles in their life, they know when you are BSing them. They know. And so people, I just find that to be so like yucky. I don't like that, right? So I'm a straight shooter. I just the way how I roll. I mean, that's why it's called straight talk, no sugar added. I love that we had this really cool, authentic conversation, Tim. I wish you much success in what you're doing. And so I don't want to let you go before my audience knows how to reach you. Because I like True Fans. I'm going to go on and check it out. And so I want you to let us know, how people can get involved. And more specifically, I think, who can be a part of True Fans, right? So I know what you don't want, but who do you want on True Fans? And then break that down for us.
Yeah. So I want somebody who's hungry, that'll treat it like a business, that'll give themselves permission to create. And I want people, in all different industries or all different niches, whether you're a photographer, whether you're a videographer, whether you do art, there's all sorts of different forms of art. You're a musician. If you're a model, that's fine too, as long as you're not doing any adult stuff. If you've got a craft, you're a coach, then yeah, we'd love to have you. There's typically like when people are applying, like some of the things we look for is someone has a minimum of 5,000 authentic followers. But what I've been doing, Nina, and I'll make sure that you get access, is that anybody that wants to gain access to True Fans, they can get in contact with you, and then we'll give you basically your own dashboard where you can invite people through you, and we'll just share the prosperity. So in the event, we have a referral program that's a lifetime referral program. So in the event that they talk with you and you think they're a good fit, you can invite them, and then your ability to help them sign up, set up, and launch their channel based on who they are.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It's just a mutual benefit, and it's just a way for me to get back to what you're doing, because I think in the short stint, I've already realized you're pretty awesome, and I want this to work. And kind of fund what you're doing and bring more people on here to share kind of the ripples of information out in the world. But yeah, to get in touch with me, it's really easy. Just look up, you can Google Tim Branyan. I should pop up, and then it's on LinkedIn. Let's see, LinkedIn. You can go to my website too, timbranyan.com.
Okay.
If they want to reach me or kind of see what I've got going on or learn a little bit more.
And then True Fans, is it truefans with a Z.com or?
Yeah, truefans.com. And you can go there and check out, some of the videos. You can see some of our creator highlights. You can learn a little bit more information about what it is and what it's not. But it is 100% invite only. So the best way for them to gain access isn't to apply on True Fans. They need to go through you. And they'll probably have a better option that way.
I mean, that's just well, first of all, kudos to you, because that's really a very disciplined and fantastic way for you to keep your site the way you want it. Right? Like really controlling that there isn't an adult industry going on, that none of that is really happening on your watch, because you're making sure that they have to be invite only and you're checking them out. So kudos, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Right?
We probably could have grown really, really fast, but we would have tarnished the reputation. And as we go to launch ads this year, we're still going to have those gatekeeps on and different tech to ensure that we remain that wholesome alternative. But that's where we're stamping our flag. We're excited about that, and we're pumped to connect with other people. So I
Yeah.
really do appreciate the opportunity to be on, Neena, and
I'm glad
let's
we
stay
did.
connected too, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm a Christian too. We got to. We're brother and sister, you know? But no, Tim, thank you so much really for being here and for sharing that information. And, I'll make sure to link all of your info below so that everybody can kind of reach out to you and reach out to, True Fans, see what that's about. Cause I mean, like I said, I deal with a lot of coaches, a lot of creators, a lot of like that kind of stuff. So this is your audience, right? This is your audience.
Yes.
You did a good job talking to them too. Thank you, Tim.
Cool. Well, thank you so much. And
Thank you.
yes, cool.
Thank you. And guys, thank you so much for spending this time with us. You guys know I love you to pieces. So make sure that you like, share, subscribe, all that cool stuff. You already know what to do. Make sure that you follow Tim. I'm going to make sure to list all of his things below, even the site for True Fans, and you guys can check it all out. Let me know if you have any questions. You know how we do. This is Neena Perez, straight talk, no sugar added. Until next time.
This broadcast is brought to you by Wincheck Studios. We are an all-in-one educational platform for podcasters that revolutionizes how hosts leverage content to increase engagement with listeners, downloads, and income. We come together to focus on community, collaboration, and collective impact. For more information on how you can interact directly with our hosts, access exclusive live content with offers you can't get anywhere else from our official partners, join our purpose-driven community by visiting www.winject.com. If you're ready to build a career doing what you love, then we're ready to see you there.